And political circles over Prashant Kishore's recent meetings with opposition leaders, sources reveal that the poll strategist is lobbying for NCP chief Sharad Pawar as the next president, whom he has met twice already, thrice in fact, after the Bengal elections. India Today has learned that Prashant Kishore has also met Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik and Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin recently, although it was not really reported. Sources say, as per Kishore's calculation, electoral college numbers would be in favor of opposition candidates as president if Patnaik is on their side. Kishore's meeting with Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi yesterday is being seen as an icebreaker. In the meeting that lasted for a little over an hour, Kishore is learned to have given a detailed presentation about improving Congress's prospects in upcoming elections. Sources say no discussion was held on Punjab crisis during the meeting. As per Kishore's calculations, the united opposition can upset the BJP's game plan and prove a game changer for opposition ahead of the 2024 general elections.
सत्ताधारी पार्टी से ज़्यादा बड़े बड़े दिग्गज विरोधी पार्टी में बैठे हैं। हर स्टेट में एक एक बादशाह बैठा है, हर स्टेट का बादशाह है। ममता जी है वहाँ, शरद पवार साहब है, चंद्रा बाबू है, लालू यादव जी है, अखिलेश जी है। ये तो अपने राज्य में बड़े बड़े नेता हैं और अपनी उनकी ज़मीन पर मजबूती से खड़े हैं। अब ये सब एक साथ आना बहुत मुश्किल था और है आज भी। और आने के बाद नेता कौन, ये पहले तय होना चाहिए। आज मोदी जी के सामने अगर आपको लड़ना है तो एक चेहरा चाहिए। संगठन है सबका नीचे, बीजेपी से भी ज़्यादा मजबूत संगठन है हमारा सबका।
प्रशांत किशोर जी किसी से भी मिलने, मैं क्या कहूँ, ये तो उनका खैर अपना पर्सनल डिसीजन है, लेकिन मैं ये ज़रूर पूछना चाहूँगी कि राहुल गांधी जी किससे मिल रहे हैं। जून माह के अंदर 3-4 दिन कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी चक्कर लगा के वापस चले गए, हाईकमान उनसे नहीं मिला। वहीं पे सिद्धू जी गए, टीवी पे कह देना मैं तो नहीं मिल रहा सिद्धू जी से और अगले दिन मिल लेना। ये राहुल गांधी जी की यही नीति रही है। खैर उनका अंदरूनी कलह है, लेकिन हमने खास देखा है कि अगर कोई भी अपने बलबूते पे अपने दम पे कांग्रेस में मेहनत करके आगे बढ़ता है तो वो G23 का सदस्य हो जाता है।
जब लोगों का अपने पार्टी पे, अपने पार्टी के नेताओं पर विश्वास ख़त्म हो जाता है तो इसी तरह से किराए के रणनीतिकारों की तलाश चलती है। अब चलने दीजिए, अच्छे अच्छे रणनीतिकार इनको ढूंढेंगे, इनको जानकारी देंगे, उसके बाद क्या हश्र हुआ है देखा है आपने। जब तक ये पार्टी परिवार के घोंसले से बाहर नहीं निकलेगी तब तक वो कितने भी रणनीतिकार और कितने भी जो है वो इकट्ठा करते रहे, उससे कुछ नहीं होने वाला।
सुखद संकेत है कि सबने चुनावी रणनीतिकार के रूप में प्रशांत किशोर का लोहा माना था और पश्चिम बंगाल का चुनाव वो प्रमाणित कर दिया है, चूँकि उन्होंने चुनाव परिणाम से पहले जो परिणाम के फल आने वाले थे बताया था, अक्षरशः वही हुआ। तो ऐसे रणनीतिकार अगर कांग्रेस से जुड़ते हैं तो आने वाले समय में कांग्रेस के लिए सुखद संकेत है।
Well, my colleague Pooja Shali tells us all about the campaigns of Prashant Kishore. Pooja with this report.
Prashant Kishore is no ordinary election strategist and he has a track record to prove that. Let me take you through his political journey. It started in 2012. It was with the BJP that won when he associated with the party's election strategy. In 2014, Lok Sabha elections, the NDA won, thereby the BJP as well. In 2015, he allied with the JDU Nitish Kumar, the party won. The setback came in 2017, joined with the Congress, but the party lost. However, in 2017, he associated with the Punjab elections, Amrinder Singh, the Congress party, bringing the Congress to power, which was unexpected to many, but the captain was back. In 2019, Jagan Reddy in Andhra elections, and of course, his party won as well. In 2020, when he allied with the Arvind Kejriwal prior government to get them back, and the party returned again, putting the stamp on his sort of strategy making. In 2021, Trinamool Congress winning in Bengal and an election that would go down in history in so many ways, the manner in which TMC returned to power. In 2021, again, of course, just a few months then, DMK won the Tamil Nadu elections and then all set for Punjab, possibly for Captain Amrinder Singh, because if Captain returns, thereby the stamp on the strategy of Prashant Kishore could only get more strong.
Well, ahead of the monsoon session from the 19th of July, Congress's party's Parliament Strategy Group, in fact, is going to be meeting virtually today at about 4:30 p.m., just some time from now, to discuss their strategy. Congress President Sonia Gandhi is going to be chairing this meeting. During the meeting, the party is going to be evolving its strategy in cornering the government on key issues like inflation, high petrol prices, diesel prices, besides the COVID-19 situation and the state of the economy. Meanwhile, sources have told India Today that Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is going to be staying on as leader of opposition for Lok Sabha, as it won't be possible to change the leader of the House with very little time left for the session to then begin. Let's talk about what's going on in Punjab Congress now. Navjot Singh Sidhu continues to bowl googlies at the Punjab Congress and also at the Chief Minister Captain Amrinder Singh. Sidhu heaped praises on the Aam Aadmi Party, and Arvind Kejriwal did reciprocate to Sidhu with a pat on the back. Amid all of this, one thing is certain: there is still no truce in the Sidhu versus Captain war. Here's more.
नवजोत सिंह सिद्धू ना काप के हैं ना टाप के हैं, अपने बाप के हैं.
Navjot Singh Sidhu, the man of the moment in Punjab politics, has bowled yet another googly. Well, actually a bunch of googlies. Starting with a cryptic tweet, Sidhu took an apparent dig at his own party, the Congress, expressing his admiration for the Aam Aadmi Party. Sidhu tweeted, "Our opposition AAP has always recognized my vision and work for Punjab, be it before 2017, sacrilege, drugs, farmers' issues, corruption and power crisis faced by the people of Punjab, raised by me." This tweet further fueled speculation that all isn't well in the Congress party. The feud between Sidhu and Chief Minister Amrinder Singh seems unresolved.
सिस्टम ने एक फटीला था मेरे ऑफिस के बाहर, मिनिस्टर फॉर रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी एंड पावर. मैं कहता सिस्टम, आई सेड नो, मैं कहता सिस्टम व्हिच हैज रिजेक्टेड ऑल माय प्रपोजल्स फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द पीपल ऑफ पंजाब, आई विल रिजेक्ट दैट सिस्टम. आई सेड नो.
And the tweet dropped just a few days after Sidhu had a high-profile meeting with Priyanka Gandhi Vadra of the Congress. Sidhu's tweet in praise of AAP convener Arvind Kejriwal has also opened up the possibility of him joining the Aam Aadmi Party if the truce brokered by the Gandhis has failed to hold. Crucially, the Aam Aadmi Party chief chose to reciprocate to Sidhu with a pat on his back.
मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है आज आम आदमी पार्टी इतना अच्छा काम कर रही है कि हमारे विपक्षी पार्टियां भी हमारी तारीफ करती हैं, विपक्षी नेता भी हमारी तारीफ करते हैं. सो वन फील्स एनकरेज्ड अबाउट इट.
Essentially, Sidhu's tweet is a signal to the Gandhi High Command that the volatile politician has options if push comes to shove. Sidhu didn't stop at praising AAP. He posted another cryptic tweet, however. Sidhu said that the opposition dares to question me, yet they cannot escape my pro-people agenda. This means they have resigned to their fate. A tweet that sounded like tempering of his earlier tweet and an attempt at a little bit of damage control, all in an effort to queer the political pitch over what his real intentions are. One thing is evident: Sidhu is keeping his options open. On the one hand, he's sending out a warning signal to the Congress High Command to get the truce implemented in his way. On the other hand, he's obviously keeping the Aam Aadmi Party also hopeful of admitting him. With Satyendra Chauhan in Chandigarh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, the battle of Nandigram between Mamata and Suvendu has now reached the High Court. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had challenged Suvendu Adhikari's victory from Nandigram in assembly elections in the Calcutta High Court. A bench of Justice Shampa Sarkar, hearing the matter, have issued notices now to Suvendu Adhikari, the returning officer, and the Election Commission. The High Court has also directed the Election Commission to preserve all election papers, devices and video recordings. Remember, Adhikari had defeated Mamata Banerjee by 1,956 votes. The Chief Minister had even then alleged foul play by the BJP leader and also accused the Election Commission of malpractice on the counting day. Earlier, the matter was referred to the Kaushik Chandra bench, but Mamata Banerjee had objected to his bench. Later, Justice Kaushik Chandra had recused himself from hearing the petition and imposed a fine of 5 lakh rupees on the Chief Minister for the manner in which the recusal was sought. Listen to what Mamata Banerjee had said after the results were announced on the 3rd of May.
Election Commission, I must say, how they fought with us, just like a BJP spokesperson. Even really, I am sorry, when I raised the issue for Nandigram, you people didn't believe that how they looted. You see, the other state, full of state given one mandate, and one constituency, can they give the other mandate? Is it possible? It is not. It is totally, they were stopped surveillance, they have stopped surveillance about 3 hours, they announced the winning, and after that they are saying something. So this is some looting is going on, some cheating is going on. We will fight in the court case, we will file the court case, and we will fight for that.
Well, jab shortage is tripling the vaccination drive. Many centers in national capital in Delhi have run out of vaccines. There is no information about when vaccines will be available next. No vaccine available signs are put up at several vaccine centers, leading to frayed nerves. Meanwhile, close to 250 people staged protests outside a vaccination center in Tamil Nadu's Trichy after being told doses were over. Police had to intervene to pacify protesters, and officials later arranged for the doses. Situation is no different in Karnataka, where Covishield is not available at many places. The vaccination rate has gone down from 1.5 lakh to 1.2 lakh per day. The new Health Minister, Mansukh Mandaviya, had also hit out at the states, in fact, for mismanagement. He's put out a series of tweets saying that states are informed about vaccine availability in advance and that they need to plan better. He's also warned opposition parties, saying netas creating confusion need to introspect.
Vaccine shortage is a big cause of concern now, and we are at a vaccination center. This is a government vaccination center in national capital Delhi, and people are waiting for get themselves vaccinated, but this notice is being put here, in which it has been written that there is no vaccine available whatsoever. So people are not just coming to these sites every day, but they have to, they are not finding any way out. आप लोग कितने दिनों से इंतजार कर?
1 week.
एक हफ्ते.
On 7th July onwards now.
So they are waiting since 2nd July onwards. आप कब से आ रही हैं?
मैं तो 2-3 दिन से आ रही हूँ. अब टोकन मिल रहा है, अब बोल रहे हैं ना वैक्सीन खत्म हो गई. 4 घंटा बैठा के बोलते खत्म हो गई. अरे बोल दो कि मत आओ, फिर बोले कल 10 बजे आओ. हम लोग को आने जाने में भाड़ा नहीं लग रहा है.
तो आज बुलाई थी, अब मोबाइल में भी आ गया है. आज 3 महीना हो गया मुझे.
तो आप लोग हर रोज यहाँ पे आते हैं?
कल भी आए थे.
So there is no proper information system which can keep themselves updated that when they will get vaccines. So this is the situation in national capital. You can think about other cities, other rural areas, that what could be the vaccination availability in those areas as well. With camera person Premchand Mishra, it's Kumar Kunal for India Today from Delhi.
Once again, it seems like there's vaccine shortage in Karnataka. Karnataka was doing somewhere around 11 lakh a day on June 21st, and now it's come down to 1.2 to 1.3 lakh is what we are told. Bengaluru alone yesterday did 25,000 jabs. Earlier it was somewhere around a lakh and more. Now, what is the reason behind this? Is the supply that has fallen short, is what the BBMP officials say. There is a short supply of Covishield is what the authorities have been saying, that Covishield cannot be administered for first dose because they don't have the stock, and preference is given for the second dose. People, as you can see, people behind me have queued up here, but quite disappointed that they're not able to get the first dose. They want to get the doses done before the third wave starts, as expected in the few weeks from now. But unfortunately for them, Covishield is out of stock for first dose, and now whatever limited jabs are remaining, it will be given for the second dose. And there is a scarcity of vaccines, but however, the government is hopeful that in the coming few days, it will pick up, as it's only a short gap that has happened. The supply has fallen short right now, but they're hopeful that in the next few days, things will pick up and normalcy will be restored. Nagarjun Dwarkanath for India Today.
60 lakh vaccines have been allocated for the state of Karnataka. In this direction, the vaccination has been going on. Probably it will vary from day to day, but overall for a month, we'll be definitely achieving a target of 60 lakhs vaccine. Even previous month it was 60 lakhs. Even this month, we'll be having 60 lakhs vaccination. That is a minimum. Probably we can have more than that if we can try to mobilize more and more.
Some breaking news just coming in. Let's go straight to that. Punjab Congress in charge Harish Rawat meets Rahul Gandhi ahead of the big announcement over Navjot Singh Sidhu. Sources say decision on Navjot Singh Sidhu likely in the next 2 to 3 days. Anand Patel is getting us more details. Anand, any sort of a truce formula, or do you think there is a big possibility here of Navjot Singh Sidhu actually then dumping the Congress and then moving to the Aam Aadmi Party?
Well, Sneha, the meeting has concluded, we are told, and Harish Rawat is the key person. He's in charge for Punjab affairs of the Congress Party. And this meeting comes in the backdrop of yesterday's meeting between Harish Rawat, Priyanka Gandhi, who met Navjot Singh Sidhu last week, and Rahul Gandhi himself. We are told that in 2 to 3 days, a decision will be out. What we are picking up from our sources is that the earlier formula for having 2 deputy chief ministers, Sidhu being one of them and another deputy CM from the Dalit Hindu community, is not workable. That plan formula has been trashed because Punjab is a small state and having 2 deputy chief ministers is not feasible. What we are now learning is that there will be a new party president, and along with him 2 working presidents will be appointed. Now this is inching closer towards what Navjot Singh Sidhu has been demanding. He has been demanding the post of party president, which the Captain Camp has been denying him, saying that he belongs to the same Jatsik community as that to which Captain Amrinder belongs. So, but now it looks like the party is heading for a change in the state unit leadership. Sidhu is the front runner as far as the new state unit chief post is concerned. So all eyes will be on the party leadership over the next 2 to 3 days when this announcement comes.
All right, Anand Patel, thanks for getting us those details. Well, with the threat of third wave looming, Uttarakhand government has decided to cancel this year's Kanwar Yatra. The decision came after IMA's warning against festive gatherings. However, Supreme Court has sent a notice to the UP government over its decision to allow Kanwar Yatra, and the matter is going to be heard on Friday.
On a day when Indian Medical Association shot off a letter to newly elected Uttarakhand CM PS Dhami, warning him of repercussions of holding annual covered processions, good sense, it seems, has prevailed. Uttarakhand became the first state to cancel this year's Kanwar Yatra because of the COVID pandemic.
लोगों का जीवन हमारे लिए प्राथमिकता है, हम उससे बिल्कुल भी खिलवाड़ नहीं कर सकते, उसमें हम कोई कोताही नहीं बरतेंगे, इसलिए हमने यात्रा स्थगित करने का फैसला किया।
The IMA has been vocal in its appeal. The Organization of Doctors has declared that allowing any religious festival could be dangerous.
Evidence which is across the globe, it says that once we are following strictly COVID appropriate behaviors, there is a 70 to 80% possibility of reduction of the cases. It is well documented.
But Uttar Pradesh has decided to allow the annual road pilgrimage with some curbs. A limited number of pilgrims will be allowed to take part in procession, and they will have to carry an RT-PCR negative report. In the meantime, Haryana and the national capital are yet to decide on Kavad Yatra. The Delhi Disaster Management Act mandates no mass religious gatherings will be allowed during the pandemic. If Delhi were to allow the yatra, it will have to come out with a fresh order. The annual road pilgrimage involves Shiva devotees called Kavadiyas travelling by foot to fetch Ganga water from Haridwar or Gangotri in Uttarakhand. And they later anoint the water at the local Shiva temples as a gesture of thanksgiving. For the time being, all eyes are also on India's new health minister, Mansukh Mandavia, over whether his word holds sway. Remember, his predecessor's warnings against crowds had little impact on the massive religious congregations that erupted this year. With Dileep Singh in Dehradun and Abhishek Mishra in Lucknow, Bureau Report, India Today.
Well, across India, COVIDites have been violating norms, leading to an increase in cases, inviting a potential third wave. From netas to the common man, nobody is taking precautions to maintain norms. Take a look at how COVIDites are violating all norms.
There are heroes. There are villains. And then there are COVIDites. These visuals are not from pre-COVID era. These images show a royal welcome of newly elected president of BJP in Tamil Nadu. Not 10, 20 or 50, there are hundreds of party workers who can be seen violating COVID norms. Social distancing has gone for a toss. Even Annamalai, an erstwhile IPS officer before joining the BJP, is seen flouting COVID guidelines. Another BJP leader and Maharashtra MLA Pankaja Munde was seen speaking in public amid a crowd, but without a mask and no social distancing. If you think that vaccination centers can help you fight COVID, then think twice. These visuals are from a vaccination center in Gopalganj, Bihar. There was chaos all around as the crowd indulged in throwing chairs and jostling as the wait for vaccine got longer. Social distancing norms went for a toss amid the shocking free-for-all.
कल भी आए थे तो कल भी शाम को 4 बजे तक खड़े रहे. जब 4 बजे तो इन लोग बोले कि वैक्सीन खत्म हो गया है, इनका ड्यूटी खत्म, वैक्सीन खत्म. सुबह से इस समय तक 4 आदमी को दिया गया.
यहाँ लगभग 500 से ज़्यादा भीड़ है. नीतीश कुमार बोलते हैं कि ये जाब लगाओ, ये जाब लगाओ. ये अम्बेडकर भवन है, इसमें कोई जाब लगा है? यहाँ कोई प्रशासन है, वो भी जाब नहीं लगाया.
In Rajasthan's Dausa, devotees put faith above COVID safety by thronging the revered Balaji temple. Again without masks or maintaining the mandatory 6 feet distance from others for COVID safety. The shocking violations mock Prime Minister Narendra Modi's appeal to ensure COVID safety at all costs to avoid third wave.
एक्सपर्ट भी बार बार ये चेतावनी दे रहे हैं कि असावधानी, लापरवाही, भीड़भाड़ ऐसे कारणों से कोरोना संक्रमण में भारी उछाल आ सकता है. आज सवाल ये होना चाहिए हमारे मन में कि तीसरी लहर को आने से कैसे रोकना है.
So have we forgotten the death and despair of second wave and willfully ignoring warnings of health experts about a third wave, possibly bigger in magnitude? Bureau Report, India Today.
It's time for a quick